Well, welcome back, my ravenous rebels, to another episode of Tundra Witch Doctor in the Kitchen. I hope you had a great Fat Tuesday, whether you were throwing beads, canning beads, or just sitting back and having a Sazerac. So, occasionally we all have these monsters we have to deal with. Rarely ever is it a giant squid, but there are some things in life we just can't get away without running into. So tonight we're going to eat and drink those monsters away. But first, if this is your first time here, welcome. If you are returning, thank you. We like having you here, part of our family. Normal disclaimer, if you're under 21 in the US, don't drink. If you're in another country, follow their laws. Wherever you are, don't drink and drive. Call an Uber, call a Lyft, call a cab, call a friend. There's always someone to call. So, I mentioned monsters we all deal with. Tonight, we are having a flatbread stuffed snack with some squid. It's not a giant squid. Those things, well, it could have been. I don't know. It didn't advertise it was a giant squid when I got the squid. But, of course, our little sandwich will involve squid, if you haven't figured that out. And the drink we're going to wash it down with is a Narcissist. And I'm sure everyone has had to deal with at least one in their life somewhere along the way. So sit back, enjoy. Tell me what you think of the show. Tell me if you've tried the sandwich or the drink or how you would even change it. Let me know where you're at. I want to know how far this is traveling. And again, thank you for joining us. Oh, our guests, we have guests again. We haven't had guests for like 4 seasons. Whoa, strike that. 4 episodes because I was sick and I want to make sure I want to get anyone else sick. So we do have taste testers tonight. We have our taste testers from Cabin Fever, Alaska. All right. Okay, so for our first step for our flatbread, I know I'm not wearing my apron today. It's kind of sad. Didn't get a chance to clean it after last time when Selim wanted to show me all his love. It's great having dogs. It really is. I'm not complaining. I'm not being sarcastic. It is. All right, so you're going to put a little bit of your saffron in there. I only have a little bit left. You're going to get some hot water going in there so it activates that saffron. Not too terribly much because you're going to pour that into your mixture for your bread in just a few minutes here, okay? All right, now that that has soaked for a good couple of minutes, we are going to continue on with our bread. You are going to want to mix a couple cups of flour with just a pinch of salt, not much. You're going to want some good pepper in there. We're at about a couple of tablespoons of olive oil. And then you're going to take your hot water. You're going to put your saffron water in there. It's okay if some of the saffron gets in there, but I did a good couple of pinches, so we don't really want too terribly much. Maybe a little bit more than that. We're going to mix that up. It's going to want to be very much a doughy texture. And as you can see, mine is coming out a little bit dry. And you know what? That's okay because we still have our water here. So I'll just pour a little bit in. And by a little bit, I do mean that much. Because with these pan-cooked flatbread recipes, a little bit goes a long ways. So once it's about like that, you're pretty much ready. And you do want your pan already heated, but I wanted you to be able to hear me first today. Okay, so for this next part, to make it a little bit easier on you so it doesn't stick, I would recommend taking off any finger jewelry. Get a little bit of olive oil, put it on your hands, that way your dough doesn't stick to you that much. And you're gonna take these and you're gonna roll them. You're gonna flatten them. No, we are not marking them with a B. Sorry, doesn't work that way. And you just stick them right there in the pan. I'll show you in 1 second, okay? All right, so in the pan that I'm using, I can get about 3 of these in there. Like I said, you're just gonna flatten them and put them on there. You wanna be kind of careful this time around about doing any overcooking. We don't wanna do that because we are going to cut them open and put our other stuff in them to make our food that we're having. Okay, and when you flip them, they're kind of gonna look like that. Not too terribly dark. It does soak up a lot of that olive oil. All right, now we're gonna go ahead and cut up our squid steak. Maybe. Squid is one of those things that it's not necessarily easy to chop, or at least on this cutting board. And you just want it in small enough pieces, that way after it's cooked it's easy to finish doing what we're gonna do. And no, this isn't the giant sea squid, or at least I can't prove it came from a giant sea squid. Squid is one of those things that's not necessarily easy to get where I'm at. It's easy to get in a lot of parts of Alaska, but not necessarily where I am. All the good seafood places are a good 40 miles south of me. On occasion, one of the stores carries some alligator, frog legs, that kind of thing. All right, so you're gonna put a small knob of butter in there. And you're gonna fry your squid in butter. And then to give it a little bit of juice, you're gonna juice a lime into that. You're gonna want a really good citrusy flavor with it. The limes I got are slightly underripe, but that's okay. All right, and you're just gonna cook that through. All right, so I did add just a little bit of salt and a little bit of pepper to that too while it's cooking off. For those that have never cooked squid before, it's kind of like halibut if you've ever cooked halibut. It doesn't necessarily turn golden brown when you're sauteing it. It turns from like kind of translucent to an opaque. Next, we're gonna cut up some fresh rosemary. Isn't that weird how I can get fresh rosemary, but I can't get like fresh squids and frog legs and alligator without having to go search really hard. Okay, next up, I got a little bit of goat cheese, and I have that put off to the side. Okay, and before I get our other last ingredient ready, I wanna get our bread ready. Since it's flatbread, you're gonna want a really sharp knife. And you're gonna wanna be careful because you wanna do this when you're doing the cut through, right in the center. That way, your ingredients don't end up on your skillet. It's kind of hard to do with some of these. So, you know, do your best. And you're just gonna do that on all of them. Alrighty. And then we're gonna get a little. All right, and our last ingredient is some fresh mozzarella. I get it in this package where it comes already cut in like rounds, and I just kind of break it off into little pieces. If you can hear that in the background, this is snow removal for this area. They're building up nice big berms in our driveway again. If they do that anymore, I'm not gonna be able to get back in. I really will have to go by dog sled. I'll have to have Selim pull me around in my car. I don't think he's gonna mind. You know what? This isn't the last ingredient because we still have the sun-dried tomatoes too, but those already come in a jar, so you don't necessarily have to prepare those. All right, we'll be right. Okay, we have our ingredients here. We are going to start with a little bit of mozzarella and some goat cheese in there. A little bit of rosemary. A couple pieces of our sea monster. At least one piece of our tomato. You're gonna need some more cheese in there, all right? You're gonna stack all of them. All right, and as you're cooking them, these ones are at 2 different stages. That one's getting ready to flip. This is where your bread's gonna get slightly more golden brown. You do wanna be careful because the toppings do wanna come out a little bit. So I would use a pair of tongs with the spatula. All right, and that's what you're really looking for, is you want that cheese to be kind of getting to that point where it's getting a little bit melty in there. Okay, we have a few of them that are done here. They don't look quite as pretty as I was hoping, but I'm sure they're gonna be very, very tasty. Okay, so now we are on to making our Narcissist to drink down. You're gonna start with 2 ounces of gin. And the gin that I've chosen to use is 50 Fathoms. That is made right here in Alaska, but not where I'm sitting currently. It's actually made in Haines, Alaska. And if you're gonna drive there, you actually have to drive through Canada to get there, just so you know. So this is one of those drinks that you build in a glass. You do your 2 ounces, like I said, of gin, and then you do, ooh, I still have some pulp in there. 3/4 of an ounce of lime juice. Then you need some ginger beer. We are going with the good ginger beer tonight. You're gonna do a splash of that. Then you're gonna top it off with a splash of crème de valet. And let me tell you, this is funny. With all the things that I've had trouble finding due to shipment, storage, COVID, Stuff they just don't bring to Alaska through the dealers, etc., etc. This is one of the things I did not think I would find. You know what? It was right there. They had it. All right. So there you go. We have our Narcissist.
Hey, we are so thankful to be back with tasting notes with the Tundra Witch Doctor in the kitchen. Tonight she brought us by some, well, it smells very good. She didn't leave a name, so I really don't know what it is. But it looks like some type of flatbread. If I get my assistant to come in there a little bit. Some type of, well, a tortilla or a flatbread or something. But I've just kind of been poking at it and looking. It looks like sun-dried tomatoes and some cheeses of stuff. But let's give it a try. Don't really know. Wow, it's very good. I taste definitely the cheese right away. I think it's a very good white cheese, like maybe a feta or goat cheese, and definitely got some mozzarella cheese in there. That sun-dried tomato is delicious. Very good. I also taste something a little fishy. I don't know. Got some. There's definitely chunks of fish in there. Some fish like a shellfish, scallops, clams maybe. Not really sure. That is good. Here's a piece right here. See that? Well, that's not a scallop. I mean, that's not a scallop or a clam. Could be a scallop. Might be a calamari. Anyway, very good. I'm going to take another bite. That's a very good, well, like this, it's a good snack. I could use a whole plate of those because that is delicious. Tundra Witch Doctor in the kitchen, don't know what you call this, but put that at the front of the cookbook. That's very good. Now, she always brings a cocktail. And tonight, she did say this one is called the Narcissist. And so we'll give this a taste. Kind of got a purpley color. Right away, I could taste a little fizz. It's a very floral, maybe lavender, violets, something like that. A floral smell on the sweet side. I don't taste any overall alcohol, not overbearing, so it must have been a white alcohol, vodka, gin, something like that. Definitely very nice and light, not too sweet. Actually pairs very well with this. So, don't know what that's called, but that's very good. The Narcissist, I'm sure she's got the recipe down below. Click on that, and definitely you'll want to make some of these. These are delicious. Thanks for coming by.
And we're here for tasting notes. Let's eat and drink our monsters away, shall we?
I'm scared.
Do you want to start with food or the drink?
Hold my hand. I don't know. What do you want? What do you want to start with?
Let's go ahead. Oh, it's warm. It's warm. I'm just gonna go like this. Hot. Burning the hands here. Burning the fingers.
What is this monstrosity?
It looks good. This is the monsters we're eating away. The fisherman didn't tell me. I told you it was hot. Would you like the drink now since I told you it was hot? This is saffron flatbread with mozzarella and goat cheese with some squid, rosemary, and sun-dried tomatoes. Squid is not a crustacean, by the way.
I'm aware.
This is cephalopod.
It's not bad.
It's a little bit dry.
A little bit, but it's not bad. I don't know if I'm crazy about squid, but.
So, what I recommend when stuffing this, if you're going to try this, you know that juice that comes with the sun-dried tomatoes? Put a little bit on the inside and that will help it a lot.
No, it's not bad. I just don't think I'm crazy about squid.
I like squid, but
it's okay. I enjoyed the experience, but I don't know that I want to repeat it. That's the polite thing to say, right?
it's not sugary or mac and cheese, so I don't want
It's not. It's true. It's definitely not retirement nachos. Talk to me about this.
Dakota wants to try it.
Because I'm excited about this.
This is a Narcissist.
This smells amazing.
It does.
That real strong lime smell, and
Apparently I have a hole in my lip. I like it.
by the way, these glasses, check this out. These are amazing. My baby gets the best stuff. This is really good. Is it a lavender or is it just the lime that I taste? What is it that's giving it that flowery taste?
It's crème de violet is
Okay.
in the drink. There's gin, crème de violet, and lime juice that's in it.
Right.
Oh, and ginger beer.
I like it. I dig it. It's very good. This is a good,
Social.
not social, but like a refreshing drink. Like there are some drinks that you just drink because like,
I like this, by the way.
It's
But
a
I like
drink.
Mediterranean style foods, so.
and there are some drinks that you drink because you're like, you know, it's like that when you crack a Sprite on a hot day.
I was going to
You know?
say, you're going to say that 80s Sprite commercial. aren't
Yeah,
you?
it's the 80s Sprite commercial, right? And it definitely has that, like a mojito is a refreshing drink on a hot day. Like you're like, oh, it's good and it feels good and it's got the right vibe. This has that refreshing vibe. I think it's the lime juice and the ginger that's doing that. But
All right, you know what? Actually, I want you all to try it. Weigh in the comments, please. That way we can see where you stand on it. Is it 80s refreshing Sprite? Is it good? Is the Monster of the Deep little stuffed sandwich the thing we had going on good for you? I want to hear.
this is Sprite commercial. It's taking me back, man. I'm not that old.
Thank you for joining us.